Okay, well, hello. I'm Sam.
And I'm Miguel, I suppose. All
I
right.
hope
Well,
so. What you got for me today, bro?
I got a couple different things,
Okay.
and I'll let you pick. I got a
Well,
couple different stories here.
I saw the names of both
What are the names?
Rat King. So let's do that one. And what Red Riding Hood is what you said?
No.
You ended up doing a different one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Rat King's all I know, so let's start with that one.
You want to do Rat King first?
Yeah, no, I mean, worked real hard to get those page printed off.
You really? Yeah. We had technical difficulties, and I'm the worst when it comes to IT troubleshooting.
Really? Because it's so funny because I have you fix all my stuff.
No, when it comes to like fixing I don't know everything else.
This is my supervisory technical skills.
Dude, yeah, when it comes to also, before I get crazy here, I want to give a shout out to my boy Steve. Um, he gave me some
I
ideas,
forgot to, yeah.
and so I did look up a couple of the things that he
Mm-hmm.
mentioned. I'll go over those a little later. Shout out to my boy Steve. You know who you are. Um,
I mean, Steve helps you get home early.
yeah, he does actually. But anyways, um, all right. You know what? He had a couple suggestions. One of them was to look up "eat your heart out," like that idiom, where that came from.
Oh, yeah.
So I looked it up, and it's pretty vague. I couldn't find anything
Okay.
set in stone. Pretty much, it comes from, I want to say, the 1500s, and
Jeez.
it was first used in Homer's Odyssey, where it wasn't exactly "eat your heart out." It was, oh my gosh,
Eateth your hearteth.
something like that, probably. But it was something like that, where it was almost like you were a glutton. You would eat the
Like
hearts
you.
of your enemies, shit like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But I couldn't find it like anything super crazy.
Okay.
Nothing too wild. It was every time I looked it up, it was just very small.
Why can't I think about how you would do that? Use that. Eat your heart out?
Eat your heart out. What do you mean?
Like, how would you use it?
Go to a buffet, eat your heart out. When you go to a Golden Corral or a shout
So
out
buffet
Chuckarama,
only?
I would assume you can't
I'm
eat your
trying to
heart
think.
out at like a one dinner place. If you were to go to like a Taco Bell, you order a $5 box that's no longer $5. You can only eat what's there. That's not eating your heart out. I need three of those bitches.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Okay, you got me?
I got you.
All right. Anyways.
But anyways, sorry to distract you, but what? That's all you could find? It was too vague?
Yeah, it was too vague. But still shout out to my boy Steve out there. Anyways, today I bring you a story of the Rat King.
Did you come up with this one all by yourself?
No?
Did
Wait, yes.
Just
Actually,
wondering.
no. First, I heard it off Jordan Peterson. You know who
Who's
that
that?
is? He's like the psychologist slash quasi politician. He's not really a politician in any sense, but he does carry some political views.
Okay.
He's a phenomenal guy. If you guys have never heard of him, I love his stuff. Anyways, he brought up the Rat King very briefly, and I was like, I want to know more shit about that. So
Cool.
Okay,
I was just
ready?
wondering where you found it. Okay.
Okay, so the Rat King. Any ideas?
Well, Rat King, I mean, I think somebody, I mean, if it's anything to compared to last time, are they eating rats?
Dude, that's a pretty good guess.
Okay, last time you said that, no, it's not even
Actually,
close.
no, this time I'm going to say you're pretty spot on.
Okay.
So,
Well, he's like Ant-Man.
Yeah, he's exactly like Ant-Man. So there's not a whole lot going off here. A lot of it is metaphorical. There's some scientific studies which involve squirrels, but we'll get into that later.
Okay.
So the Rat King historically are considered a sort of a natural curiosity. right? Are they real? Are they not? They're often associated with superstition and folklore. Ooh, funky.
Whoa, wait, pause. Rat king.
Rat king. Yes.
So like a rat that's a king.
Yes.
Oh, it's not like a person. We're not talking about a person. Or we might be talking about a person later.
So, flat out, I'm just going to tell you right now, a rat king could be
Either or?
both. Yeah. So, like,
It
a
can
rat
transform.
king. No, definitely not. Definitely not.
It's like a vampire, but like.
So, flat out, I'm going to tell you it could be either or. Okay. We're just going to leave it at that for now. Okay.
Okay.
But they've been mentioned in literature and legends across different cultures. It's not just one.
Dang.
Right?
Okay.
And they were often depicted as a bad omen or a sign of a doom or plague.
So, but how would you tell? Are you gonna get into that? Okay,
I'm going to get into that.
Okay.
Okay. So, the earliest report of a rat king dates back to 1564 in literature. This marks the documented sightings of these, peculiar creatures. The origin term of the Rat King is kind of unclear exactly where it comes from, but it's believed to come from the German word rattenkonig, which later translates into English rat king.
Okay.
Okay, fun fact.
Nice.
The name was initially completely metaphorical. It was people that were like leeches on society, leeches on family members, burdens.
What's crazy is rat has always meant like.
Right.
Ugh.
Right. Like, he's
Yeah.
such a rat.
But I mean, I guess rats have always been gross.
Very true.
So,
Very
I mean, they freaking did the Black Plague, right?
Hold that thought there, buckaroo.
Oh!
Hold that thought, little
It's so funny
buckaroo.
when I haven't read any of this. I saw Rat King because I had to help you print it, but I promised
back
you.
on this. Yeah, she had to help me print this. She won't let me live it down.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to tell you, I didn't read any of it, but I saw Rat King, and that's it. And it's just funny how a lot of this is like, I don't know. I just think it's interesting.
Interesting, right? Okay.
We're just on the same wavelength, you know?
Supposedly. Okay. So the name initially was completely metaphorical. It referred to people that were like leeches, right?
Okay.
Or it came, over time it came to depict a king perched upon a throne of like knotted tails.
Knotted tails.
Yeah, or even a spinning wheel of rats. Eventually, over time.
Okay, wait. Say that one more time. So you're telling me a rat king, people would say you were like a rat king if you were kind of like a crappy person.
Right.
And then it evolved over time to be where somebody was sitting on a throne of
knotted tails and
but
a
like
spinning
when
wheel
you
of
see
rats.
that, okay. Keep on going because
Okay.
I'm just a little confused.
So this is just kind of backstory here.
Okay.
During the Middle Ages, the Black Death, the plague, ravaged Europe. Rats were falsely believed to be the cause of it. Falsely. I thought the exact same thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought the exact same thing. That rats.
We were taught that.
We were taught that, right?
Okay.
No,
Tell me, bro.
It was later discovered. I'm gonna give you three guesses as to what brought the Black Plague over. Just shoot them. Three right now.
Well, first things first. I'm thinking feces / like bodily fluids.
Okay. Next.
Like, oh, so that's not it.
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, I thought they said fleas on the.
Fuck, you got it. It's fleas.
Okay. Well, okay. So I technically knew that then because I thought it was the fleas that were on the rats, and the fleas transferred it to the rats, which then transferred it to people.
Yeah. So fleas brought the Black Plague. It was fleas.
Where did the fleas get it from?
Dude, I didn't look at that.
Dude.
But The
But
rat. It was not the rats that brought it,
the
but it
OG
was.
COVID. Sorry.
I'm assuming it's almost like um fuck, I just totally had an epiphany just now. Like mosquitoes carrying the West Nile. Where does the West Nile virus come from?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. They're implanted. Just
They're impregnated. Go, my little honeybee. Send it off.
dude, I stepped on a honeybee.
Dude,
Well, I thought it was a wasp.
Bro,
But then it kept on moving. I was like, oh my god, it's one of those robotic ones.
bro, it's like Lilo and Stitch. The mosquito.
It's an endangered species.
Hold your horses. The mosquito. That's hilarious.
Honestly, I didn't even know. I totally forgot about the plot of Lilo and
Dude,
Stitch.
100% so did I. I always thought the shark was the bad guy.
Same, but he was just trying to keep everybody safe.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I know that's a fun thing about having a kid. You just you get to rewatch these.
I've watched these movies my whole life. Anyways,
know.
so yes.
Okay, so fleas. Okay.
Fleas were the source of the Black Plague.
Okay, but we
Okay.
still don't know where the fleas got it from.
Right, but during that same time, stories of rats being knotted together through their tails started to spread.
Wait. Like
Okay.
they were like, so like, kind of they were connected by tails.
Yes, and we'll get into that.
Multiple or just two?
Multiple.
Okay.
And this is, if you saw like a knotted rat or a knotted cluster of rats, it was considered a bad omen. It was bad luck.
Well, why would it not be a bad luck? Dude, I bet those freaking rats were having like orgies or something. And that's freaking bad luck, bro.
Yeah, dude. Those rorgies.
Or some freaking fucked up person tying these freaking, some creepy ass person tying these rats together. Yeah, I would say it's a bad omen.
Possibly. But it was these entanglements that kind of started the whole Rat King term.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait, when was the Black Plague?
So I didn't look that up, but it was during the Middle Ages, which span the Middle Ages were like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Okay, it was like 470 AD to about 450 AD, or no, 1450 AD.
Oh, the Black Plague was in 1390 or 1346.
If you think about that, that was only like 700 years ago. That is like not that far away.
Oh my god. Dude, the Spanish flu was only 1918.
Yep.
Bro. It's weird to think about timeline in like
dude, just
just thinking about how fast a day goes.
Yep.
Like, even think about how fast these last 3 months have gone.
Yeah, they just go. Like, no matter what, you can think a day goes by fast or slow. And if you take a step back from everything, it all, in essence, moves at the same time.
I love it. Well, I don't love it. It kind of feels weird. But when people, like, do a timeline, and they, like, say this happened this close together, and then this happened back here. Like, if you, like, look at it on a timeline itself, it's only, like, this close to you. Mm-hmm. When this is so much farther.
Right.
Like, those timelines are freaky to look at.
Because
you're kind of like dude, World War II. Not that long ago.
No. But think about, like, just technology.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, it's wild.
Well, yeah. Like, think about the iPhone. Even think about us. If our generation, you think about how much has changed just in our generation, especially based off of technology, that's insane. Like, do you remember dial-up? I remember dial-up.
I remember dial-up.
But yet, I love my freaking phone, dude.
I love it too. But, like, kids these days, they're like...
Never will know dial-up. I remember having a see-through phone, and it was the coolest freaking thing ever.
Wait, a see-through phone?
Okay, it wasn't like...
Or, like, a clear phone with the motherboard in there? Yeah. Okay.
That was so cool. That was... It was see-through. You gotta see the
I would consider it
technology
more
inside.
translucent.
90s, bro. Well, so it's like weird because, like, we were at the end of 90s. So we kind of remember some things, but kind of not. I think our generation is really cool, but I bet a lot of people think their generation is cool. But I think we were really smack dab in the middle of a huge
Dude, yeah,
transition.
like it was like exponential the growth.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were right in the time, like okay, the internet was there, but you had dial up. It was still connected to all the phones.
I
Okay,
know.
so like, what was the sound that it made when you tried? I remember, yeah,
Something like
that sound, dude. I remember that. And then what came after that? I remember my dad, dude. A lot of my stories revolve around my dad. Actually,
I know. You love your dad.
I love my dad. He's a
I
good
mean,
guy.
you love your mom too. That is true.
I love them both.
I know.
My dad is just a wild animal. He's crazy.
I
I
think
got my first iPhone in Mexico. It was a 3G, and I'm pretty sure it was stolen, but I loved it.
I know. I'm pretty sure I got my first iPhone not until after I graduated.
Really?
I was an Android person.
He must have been a sucker too.
Okay, okay. Android, I will say, has some cool stuff. But at least for where I work, sometimes the updates absolutely suck. It's always the Androids that never update the right way.
I agree.
It's always like, oh, Android,
Every
sometimes don't do
company that I've
this.
worked for uses Apple.
Well, I personally feel like Apple's just like an easy thing to use. Like you don't have to think about using it. Android can be really cool,
Right.
but you have to really think about using it more.
I would disagree with you a little bit on
Well, at
this.
least from I think about it, I haven't used an Android in 5 years,
Right.
So it's been a while, but like I feel like I love Apple. I don't know.
So
Now that I have it, I like it too much.
yeah, I love Apple too. Okay, so I'm like split between two worlds here because when I was younger, I used to be a huge tech nerd,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved Android and like all the customizability you could have with it.
Mm-hmm.
You could literally find different settings if you wanted to and
Yeah.
download them
Yeah.
onto Android, and it would be no issue. With Apple, security's way too high. It doesn't want you to fuck with
But
anything.
then I never have to worry about viruses or stuff.
Dude, and that's the ease of use of Apple is very appealing, I think, to a lot of people. I don't know. Some younger guys that I've talked to like their Android phones because
Yeah.
they believe they're quote unquote free. You know, they they can literally do whatever they want with their phone, and that's the appeal I think of the
Yeah.
Android. You
Yeah.
know, with Apple, you're pretty much stuck to a UI. If Apple wants you to update, you pretty much have no choice. You have to update.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Yeah.
back on the
Anyways,
Rat King.
I know. Sorry, we just get on our. Honestly, if you just like hearing us talk, you're
Yeah,
right.
huge,
You're in the right place.
huge fucking tangent. I don't know how we ended up on phones. I don't know how.
I hope it was smooth. Okay.
Okay. Anyways,
Wrecking,
um,
entanglement, black plague. Keep on going.
Middle Ages span
Middle
about
Ages.
1,000 years. I don't know. I don't know if I mentioned that before. About 470 A.D. to about 1450 A.D. And
Jeez.
some people even suggest that rat kings possess supernatural powers. Okay.
So rat kings weren't the entangled ones, right? It was just a bad omen if you saw a tangled rat, right? Is that what you said?
Save that question. I'll answer
Cool.
it later
I'll
on.
ask.
Okay. That their appearance could even cause a plague or calamity, kind of what I mentioned before. Um, but what are they? Do they even exist? Ooh. A rat king is an intriguing and kind of a rare situation where a group of rats become intertwined, bound by their tails,
Okay.
creating a tangled mess of small creatures. Imagine like
Well, I'm even thinking about braiding my hair, and if you don't like pull the pieces apart,
right,
they get
become
tangled at the
entangled.
bottom.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So this occurrence is pretty unusual. and
It
has
is
been
unusual?
reported. It's unusual.
Okay.
Excuse me. And the occurrence has been sporadic throughout history, but it's across all platforms is considered quite rare. Okay, a
Okay.
rat king. Excuse me. The rat tails can become entangled due to a variety of factors. Okay, so these are what I looked up here. Adhesive substances. So let's
Mm-hmm.
say like you put a rat trap up or whatever. Entangling materials or accidental entanglement. Similar incidents have been occurred with squirrels.
With their tails?
Yeah.
Their fluffy butt
Mm-hmm.
tails?
Yep. So like the Rat King history, people are like kind of up in arms about it, but they've seen it with squirrels. The Squirrel King, kind of dubbed the Squirrel King. Similar, exact same kind of platform, just different animal. And let me get into what it means to be a Rat King.
Go for it.
Okay. But first, let's talk about the history of a Rat King. Okay.
Go for it.
So, several preserved specimens of rat kings have been exhibited in museums across Germany and France, kind of in the European countries, because that's kind of where the plague happened, right? Where that's where most of the reports come from is the European countries.
Mm-hmm.
In Germany, they proudly display what is the largest known rat king to be found. It was
They
this.
do?
Mm-hmm.
Like in a museum?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, I want to see
It was discovered in 1828 by a miller cleaning out his
it. Okay, what's a
fireplace.
miller?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm assuming a wood miller or like Nick Miller, like a Nick Miller out there from New Girl.
Oh my god.
I'm assuming it's like a wood kind of fella.
Okay. Okay. A person who owns or work in a grain mill.
That's definitely nowhere near close. Okay.
A
But
miller is a person. Yeah, it's a mill to grind grain.
okay, good enough. He was cleaning out his fireplace, and his specimen that he found in his fireplace is an entanglement of 32 dead rats.
No. Okay. Okay. So real quick, you're saying there's a rat king, okay? A rat king, one specific thing, but you have 32 rats tangled together. How is that a rat king?
Okay, so I was actually about to talk about
Cool.
this.
Okay, cool.
So let's say we have 32 rats. Okay,
Okay.
they're all entangled by their tail. Now imagine they can only move whichever way if everybody chooses so. And with rats, it's not going to happen. Either one, they're going to bite their tails off and move on. Okay. The other dumb ones are going to stay and they're going to eat each other. So the Rat King was the one that ended up surviving all of it. And there's history of this. So like 32 dead rats.
Survival of the fittest.
Right. So the Rat King would end up eating or surviving through all these other rats trying to eat each other. He'd be the biggest, baddest, meanest rat. He was dubbed the Rat King. Now, if you could get a person to control that rat, he would also be dubbed the Rat King.
Because you have control.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see. Interesting concept.
Right.
Interesting.
Okay. Now we're gonna get into more history of it. Okay. So I told you about the fireplace.
The
In
fireplace.
1963.
Real quick, so there wasn't 32 rats attached to this. They found 32 individual tails attached to this one rat.
That was unclear.
Okay.
But I think I touch on that here in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1963, a Dutch farmer stumbled upon.
1963? That's like not that long ago.
Right. A Dutch farmer stumbled upon another rat king in the Netherlands. That's pretty much all I have about that. While modern sightings of live rat kings are They're pretty rare, but they're a notable event. The most recent one happened in 2021, but one before that happened in 2005 in Estonia. The Rat King found, now housed in the University of Tartu Natural History Museum, contained live rats. This provided a unique opportunity for a study. Okay. Um, a recent sighting in 2021 in Russia, captured on video,
Oh my gosh.
right, showcased a living rat king composed by 5 mice, little mice. So I might have not wrote it down in my notes here, but essentially, the Dutch farmer, in 1963, he wasn't a living creature. He found him in his fields, and he wasn't alive, but he was a massive rat. And they found calluses on his tail.
Calluses as of like something was tied to it?
Right,
Okay.
right. Kind of like how you form calluses and stuff like that. And they kind of were like, okay, this is definitely tangled up. And yeah, that's the Rat King. Now, knowing kind of what you know about now.
But I wonder how they get tangled.
So usually mice are born in litters. So this is kind of, I'm actually about to talk about that right now.
Okay.
So the next question asked is like, is it real? Is it
Yeah.
possible? So I have a couple things written here. A plausible explanation revolves around the long, flexible tails of black rats, okay, which could come into contact with sticky substances like tree sap.
Black rats?
Right.
Is there a different color of rats? I can't even think of the color of a rat right now.
I don't know if there's another color. I remember I have a lot of stories about Mexico, but my dad told me I never saw one.
I saw them in San Francisco and they were like black or gray. And they were pretty big.
Yeah, my dad was saying in Mexico they're
so
about the size of a chicken.
No.
Mm-hmm. And
I remember they were like, I don't even know what size that is.
it's like probably like 10 inches you're looking at. What you see?
Dude, they were pretty good size in San Francisco. At least when we went when Jackie, my sister, graduated. So what is that? Like 2014? Wait, no, not before me. We graduated in 2016.
2017, 2018.
2018? Yeah. And that was like those were some pretty I can't even imagine like those were some pretty honker sized rats. And I remember them running across at night. It
Yeah.
was gross.
That is pretty disgusting. Luckily, we live in a place where that doesn't happen.
Oh
a
my
lot.
gosh.
They're probably still here. Like, they're probably here.
I've never seen a rat here though.
Me either. That's false.
You have seen one?
Yes.
I've seen.
I
Have you
feel
seen
like
mice?
when I go, I've seen mice, but when I go fishing sometimes,
You see them?
I see them going into like drains, or it might be muskrats.
How are rats everywhere? They're in every climate.
Birds, bro. Think
What do
about
you
it.
mean? Birds.
Birds are fucking everywhere too.
Yeah, they do migrate and stuff though.
Shoot, we haven't seen our hummingbirds for a while. Pretty sad
Um,
about them going. I'm excited for them
Hopefully
to
they're
come
coming
back.
back. I was talking to a member about that today. She was really I was like, oh, that's a cute hummingbird like wallet, just making conversation. And she's like, they're territorial, and that makes sense why they would fight each other.
Really? Hummingbirds are territorial?
Yeah. She said, well, obviously I didn't look it up afterwards.
Honestly,
but she
hummingbirds
said
are
that.
essentially a butterfly.
They're beautiful. They're so cute. They are like an insect almost. They're so small, and the nests are teeny.
Mm-hmm.
The member was like, "Have you ever seen a nest? They're so cute and small." And I was like, "Well, they are like
Dude,
almost an insect size.
Dude,
they're pretty small."
Seriously, their eggs are the size of a peanut M&M.
Are they?
They're small.
Honestly, they're beautiful. So,
But
anyways, rats. It's insane how big they can get.
Yeah. So
But
I don't know.
also,
I don't know
what
how truthful
distinguish
it
a
was.
rat and a mouse or mouse?
My
Mouse.
guess, just off the top of my head, is their size, because
Okay.
mice are not very big, and their tails are pretty small.
Mm, no, I
Yeah.
would say their tails can be pretty long,
Have you seen a rat tail though,
dude. Makes me want to gag thinking about a rat.
bro? A rat tail is like the size of its body, like
Like a hang loose sign,
like a hang loose sign, like pinky
or
to
why?
pinky.
Why in sign language?
Y in sign language, pinky to thumb. That's a rat tail right there, bub.
Mice can be pretty long too. It can be like pretty long.
But I've seen a lot of mice in my life.
I remember. Did I ever tell you that my mom that my mom held somebody's mice because she had mice as a pet, and it like bit her, and she went like she flung it up in the air and it hit the wall. It was like squeak, and then fell to the ground.
Oh,
It was like squeak,
and
it
it
fell to
died.
the ground. Yeah, I ended up dying like
It died. Oh my god! It
my
died.
mom was like, yeah, my friend called me and I ended up dying a few days later.
Oh.
But it like bit her and she like ah! And it like flung and hit the wall behind her because we were like, I remember she kept them like in her laundry room.
What a reflex!
But like, I mean, I just burned my hand the other day and I like instantly like put my hands up.
That's true. You got hot oil on my back.
But I asked the boss honcho and she was saying that yeah, it's because of the vinegar in the mustard. She knew about that.
The boss, huh?
The boss.
Okay.
But she said that she knew about the vinegar thing because I said I put mustard on my finger. And she's like, "Oh yeah, because of the vinegar." And I was like, "Okay, so I'm not crazy."
So, also a side note here: if you end up getting hot oil on your
Hot
fingies,
oil, fire, like anything of burning, you should put mustard or pickle juice. You could dunk your hand in pickle juice,
yeah,
but mustard will help you. It won't blister. Like literally, I spilled like my whole finger was submerged in bacon grease. Like it freaking hurt, and it was stinging.
yeah,
But
she was hurting pretty bad.
I dunked it in some mustard, and then I ended up putting glove on with some mustard. Yes, my finger stained a little bit yellow, but who cares? I'd rather have that than a blister.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little malaria.
But so
Okay,
back to the Rat King.
back on topic. Let me just finish this, and I can
Okay,
answer
you
some
can tell me.
questions.
Okay.
Okay.
I have so many questions.
Now, is it real? So I have 3 things written down here. I'm gonna just go through
Wait
them.
a second. You said I'm gonna answer some questions. Is it real? I can answer those.
Let's see.
Okay.
Okay. A plausible explanation revolves around the long, flexible tails of black rats, which kind of
Oh
sparked the
yeah. You
conversation
said that.
earlier,
You said
right?
that. Yeah.
Which could come into contact with sticky substances like tree sap. As they sleep, this mixture solidifies. The rat realizes they are bound. They may struggle and unintentionally tighten a knot around their tail. Okay.
See.
So it's pretty specific, I would say.
Mhm.
Ultimately, a study conducted in 2007 concluded that while naturally occurring rat kings, they're naturally occurring, are possible, they're pretty rare, far and few between, some would say. The consensus between zoologists and biologists remain pretty heavy-handed.
Whoa. What's the difference between zoologist and biologist?
I would say zoologists study animals, right? Biologists study kind of
Organisms?
organisms, like
Okay.
their like makings, I would say. Again, I have no science behind this. But like a zoologist looks at a tiger and says, okay, I know these features about it, I know these behaviors about it, and I know whatever the hell else
But a
about this.
biologist would be
Right?
like,
A
this is
biologist
how.
would be like, okay, that has a zygote 13Y protein. Okay. The
More the
ribosomes in there
Okay,
are going
more
crazy.
in depth. Okay,
More
maybe.
in depth about maybe the cellular makeup of it.
Okay, I can see that. Okay,
Then
I'll
again,
take
if
that
I'm
as an
wrong,
answer.
let me know in the, I don't
In an
know.
email or yeah, we gotta like. I feel like on this one we definitely gotta make sure we add something in.
Yeah. But yeah, it remains heavy-handed on both ways. The most recent study in 2007 kind of says, yeah, it's possible, but it's pretty rare. But there was a natural occurrence of a squirrel king, kind of same situation. What do you think?
Can
Thoughts?
squirrels have multiple babies? I can't remember.
Yes.
You know what's weird is how we are like, oh yeah, this animal can have multiple babies, but like maybe that's just normal and like humans can only have one because that's abnormal. But like
Or
sometimes it has two or three.
an elephant, one baby.
One. Giraffe, one.
I don't know where that is. You know what's
I
crazy is
wonder if it's
dolphins.
what's dolphins?
Dolphins are wild, dude.
I know they play with their food.
They are like, yeah, they play with their food, okay, but also they eat pufferfish to get high, okay?
Really?
Hell yeah, they
I
do.
didn't know that.
Yeah, they eat pufferfish. They
Okay.
literally deliberately go after pufferfish, and the way that their body digests the neurotoxin of a pufferfish, they get high off of it. Okay, but
Okay, from Sweet Life
hold on.
on Deck, isn't there just one section of the pufferfishes? Pufferfish that's toxic?
What do you mean?
Have you ever not seen that episode of Sweet Life on Deck?
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody?
No, it was a Sweet Life on Deck. I misspoke first. I said Sweet Life on Deck, but it was actually, or I said Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, but it was actually a Sweet Life on Deck.
Sweet Life on Deck.
You remember that one,
Zack and
right?
Cody, Sweet Life on Deck. Right?
It's Sweet Life on Deck is the name of the
All
series.
right, dude. All
But
right.
anyways,
You gotta yell at me, dude. Jeez.
um, I think it was like they had like a like person who was like, you have to cut the perfect unpoisoned part of the pufferfish. I don't know. It could have been a TV show, like completely made of thing.
I'm
But
gonna
I
tell.
didn't know if a pufferfish all was toxic or if it was just one part piece.
I don't know. I didn't look at that.
Okay.
But I'm assuming all. If one part of the pufferfish is poison, I'm assuming all of it's poison.
Yeah, because it's like
Kind of all
they have to
around.
have like blood, right?
Right.
I know.
But dolphins, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I don't know if this is all fact, but from what I've read and kind of been told, is or not pufferfish, fuck, dolphin, right? They protect humans.
Yes.
Okay, they have a very intelligent way of speaking with one another. Like they have language, okay,
Okay.
but like they protect humans against sharks and shit. Whatever else.
Yeah, I've seen them like yeah.
Do you think dolphins are going to be the next big species on Earth?
Damn, you really asked a big question there.
Or do you think it's going to be something different?
Well, like what? Like, I mean, what's the other one? Like gorillas? Like they're teaching gorillas like sign language stuff.
They
Also,
are.
wait. Side note: teaching dogs and cats how to speak. Have you seen those buttons
Yes.
that where the dogs can click on it and they're straight up making like thoughts? I just saw one where the baby started crying and said, and the dog went over and hit the button and said, "It's okay. I'm here. I'm here."
No way.
It was trippy. And it said, "I love you."
That's crazy.
I know, but I've seen like so many things of like where like they have like almost like a whole like section for it, which
I want to say it's almost like a honeycomb pattern of different buttons, and
yes.
the dogs learn what each button means, where to the
Mm-hmm.
point they can construct almost like a half sentence or like,
Exactly. Like they can get their point across,
right.
And honestly, I think it's so cool if you could like if you had space for it. Like, I mean, in our house we don't really have space for it, but like they've even taught cats to do it or dogs to do it, like where they say sick, I am. Like where they say like and
It's
people have
partial, yeah.
said their dogs or cats have told them that they're sick before to where they can even catch it. Like cuz a lot of animals like they do show certain signs,
Right.
but you can't always interpret it how they are saying, like how they're technically saying it.
Right.
And they can push the button and literally say, "This is happening." It's crazy.
It's
So
like
that's
Doug
why it's
from
like,
Up.
so I would say dolphins or dogs because dogs didn't spend so much time with humans.
Wild.
But
So
dogs also sniff butts, so
what do you think of this Rat King story?
I think it's interesting. I
Real,
don't
fake,
know.
in between? What do you think?
I think it's very survival of the fittest kind of a thing. Like, I mean, if I was a rat, like, and if I had the intelligence of like me, I would be like, you know what, I'm just gonna let this guy like eat everybody else, and then I'll just eat him afterwards.
Fair enough.
Like, and like you said, they get born in litters. You maybe, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, because that's how we got on the topic of only one. Um, I think that's definitely part of it, especially if they're all feeding off of the same like mama. Like they get
All the
moved, like
entanglements,
you can
right?
get real tangled and then you grow and you're stuck and then survival of the fittest. Like after you feed off of your mom, like then yeah, you have to go feed for food and whoever's the biggest is gonna win that fight.
Right.
I could see that as like a baby standpoint, like a little baby rat. So but as adult rats, I don't see it.
No?
No, unless you're having like some big old like parties that I don't know about, like some sexy parties,
Some big old
some
sexy
orgies.
rat parties?
Yeah, some rat sexy parties.
I would definitely hope that happens in the sewers, bro.
I know they're just like, but like
You're
as
looking mighty
babies.
foxy over there, little ratty.
Oh, you're a fox, but I'm a rat. But I think it's I could see it as baby rats. As adult rats, I couldn't see it.
Okay, but what if those baby rats got entangled and they became big rats?
That's what I'm saying.
You think
Like it
it'd
would
get that far,
had to
bro?
have happened as baby rats. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, fair enough.
Because you're feeding, you may have fallen off of like a little rat nipple and you move over. Like
I
you're
hate when
mixing
that
around.
happens, dude.
I know. I hate when that happens with rat nipples.
Just, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Well, anything else to add on this episode?
No, I think that one's real interesting. I'm really that one. You really have come up with some really good, like
Thank
random
you.
ones.
I got another one.
Hell yeah!
We'll dig into that next time.
Next time. Okay.
See you guys later.
See ya.